We can follow these concepts of the afterlife through the Hebrew Bible as it sort of evolves and changes. And during the Babylonian exile, there seemed to be a shift. The promise of God's blessing was absolutely shattered when Israel was taken into captivity, and they needed justice. So it seems like justice was sort of transposed to the afterlife, since it was abundantly clear that many would not receive it within this life. And I don't want to make it out like this was some clean break. This shift most likely happened over the course of several hundred years. But if you track it through the Bible, you do see a clear progression. And so these new concepts were added in, things like a judgment, right, between good and bad, so that people could have justice. But also things like an actual bodily resurrection, which wasn't present in the older concepts of the afterlife. This idea of a resurrection just wasn't there. And so when we get to Jesus's time, there are these sort of competing ideas. And you have the Sadducees, who don't believe in the bodily resurrection. And it seems like they're holding on to sort of these older Hebrew concepts of the afterlife. And then you have the Pharisees, who seem to have embraced some of these newer concepts of the afterlife. And this is mentioned within the Gospels. And then after the life of Christ, and by the time you get to early Christianity, you can see the writings of the early church fathers wrestling with this idea of the afterlife and hell, and this concept that starts to resemble what we know today. But it wasn't really until medieval Christianity and Dante's work that hell as we know it today, with its associated imagery, really became solidified.